Hello everyone, back with me again. In this video I will show you what's the difference between small and big streets in Indonesia. So the first street right here is the small one. This might be just 4 meters wide, and you have to be really careful when you're driving a car. And this is also a very difficult crossing because there are a lot of motorcycles or scooters, and this kind of street usually is inside a housing complex, and you can see that it's a paving road and it's not with asphalt road. And this is also maybe just 4 meters wide, and a lot of people are using it, including all motorcycles or the scooters. Remember that there will be a lot of bumps, and it is actually put there so that people will not ride their bikes fast enough and hit someone. And this one is a medium street. This is not a very big one but not very small one, so there are two streams on this street, and of course it is left-handed. I'm sorry, of course this is a left-hand side street. It means that you have to be on the left side of the street. And these bumps are actually meant there so that people won't really be too fast when they're approaching a crossing. I will show you one of very expensive housing complex. Maybe someday I can show you. And this is how life in Indonesia, especially in my city, in the inside of the city, in housing complex where everybody is doing their own job and doing their own business. You can see a lot of people, like these people, they're placing a poster of a candidate of some kind of election that we're going to have in April. And so we have a three-way crossing, and you have to be really careful because everybody is minding their own business. In front of me there is a car, and it is bringing some green gas. The green gas container is painted in green. They're meant for the poor people, and it's only 3 kilograms of LPG, or maybe LNG, liquid natural gas. And this is around 3 o'clock in the evening, or maybe 4. I think this is 3 o'clock in the evening, and everybody is out for fetching their children at school, because lately we have full day school and every kid should be in their school until 3 or 4 in the evening. And that moment when everybody is coming out of the school and from their job, the street is like hell, and everyone is trying to get their own way. But I think this is not the time yet, because it is still 3 o'clock and the students are not yet coming out of their school. But some of them, you see that some of them have gone to the street to get home. So this is a very busy crossing, a 5-way crossing, and someone is managing the traffic. Actually, this road is really bumpy. As you can see that it's not flat. This is the condition of the streets in Indonesia mostly, but in some areas or maybe some cities it's not the case. But in my city, Malang, there are always bumpy streets. You can always find convenience stores everywhere if you need anything for your daily life. Maybe some spices, snacks, noodles or rice. You can find it in Indomart or Alfamart. They are really abundant. They are really abundant and you can find it everywhere. And you can find gasoline like on the left side. Whenever you're riding a motorcycle like this, and if you need gas or petroleum, on the right side you can see Alfamart. That's when you can buy anything you want, drinks, maybe some tea or maybe a little bit of alcohol. They provide it there. As long as you're more than 17, you're eligible to buy alcohol. I don't know if it still exists because I never buy alcohol because I'm a Muslim. This is the road condition, and as you can see, there are a lot of vehicles and the road is really bumpy. And sometimes you have to stop a little bit to let the other stream go. You can see a lot of posters from politicians and candidates for the next election in April. And you can also see some posters of a housing complex, new housing complex that's being developed. And you can see here is bakso. You can find bakso almost everywhere. It's actually meatball soup. So if you miss it, and if you like meatball soup, you can buy it everywhere. You can find bakso everywhere, even in housing complex where they use motorcycles to sell bakso. And you can find all kinds of food, especially with rice. And if you like fried chicken, you can find a lot of fried chicken in Indonesia. You can see there is still a lot of paddy rice field. It is paddy rice field, and they're really growing rice to sell them for us to eat. And on the left hand side there is a campus, which is Muhammadiyah University, and it is usually a traffic jam around here. The students are usually coming out in these hours, in 3 o'clock in the evening. You can see a lot of vendors. Oh, this is the one. The students are coming out of the university, and some of them are buying food, like those girls, and these guys are going to the parking lot, I guess. And you can find whole bunch of food, including ayam goreng or fried chicken, jamur. Jamur is what you call it, mujair. You can find fish for food. You can buy it without rice if you want to. And everybody's minding their own business. Some kids are buying at the local store. They're looking for food to bring home in their boarding house. Let's go. It's really clear right here. There is no traffic. On the right hand you can find Alfamart. It is a convenience store. There's another traffic jam. You see, the traffic jam is really caused by the narrow streets, because the streets are so narrow and there are so many people using it. Like these guys, they're going to turn left, and yeah, and someone is blocking the streets, so we have to turn right to find a way. This is obviously a narrower street, a more narrow street, and every kind of vehicles like cars, scooters, motorcycles, and even bikes, and even walking people are using this street. In front there is a mosque, and it's serving the whole community around it. It usually used for gathering and to solve many problems in the society. It is a kind of a gathering place. And this complex is filled with students from usually from all over Indonesia, from all cities and all regions of Indonesia. They're coming here to learn and study in the local universities, and mostly they will be living inside villages, houses like this, and they will rent a room around 300 to 400,000 rupiah, or maybe 500 rupiah if it's good enough and having an AC or air conditioning system. So 500,000 rupiah might be around, I don't know, 60 or maybe around 40 or 50 US dollars, maybe 40 US dollars a month. Imagine that you can live with just $40 a month, or maybe $100 a month, and it's sufficient if you're living alone and you don't go anywhere far, and you're just going to your job or maybe your school. If you see, there are a lot of people are using some kind of a plastic suit, because this is a little bit raining in here right now. All sorts of people. Yeah, this car, the car was making some headlights to me, because it's asking for a way. So if someone is doing that to you, it means that the person wants to have a way. And so this is the blocked street. I usually use that street, but now it is blocked, so I cannot use it. I think this area is some kind of a backbone for the local universities, because there are a lot of students finding their boarding houses and the boarding rooms around this area. So this is kind of a support area for those people, including for them who don't have a house yet, so they have to rent. That was my case a few years ago, when I have to buy a gasoline, and these people are selling gasoline right on the street. You can see the gasoline right there, and okay, a bottle of gasoline costs you around 10,000 rupiahs, or less than $1 US dollar. And you can go everywhere, maybe many kilometers or many miles, with just 10,000 or maybe less than $1 with your own bike. That is why a lot of people like to use motorbikes to go everywhere. That will include me, myself. I like riding bikes so much because it's so cheap. I do have a car at home, but I prefer to go around with bikes so much, because this is one of the reasons. You can find small roads like this, small streets like this, and if you're using a car, you will not be able to use this street, so you have to use a motorcycle or a scooter. I will show you something ahead that you might like it. So in front of me there is a river, and everybody is using it, and they have to use it in turn, because it only we can only use for one row of motorcycle at one moment, and then everybody else have to wait, like the people in front, they have to wait. And you have to be really careful, because you have to have a real skill with motorcycles. This is why it is so practical, because it is practical, and it's one of the easiest way to get around the city. It is a little bit raining, and everyone is using a raincoat, but I guess it is not yet really hard raining. Oh yeah, we're coming to a big street, and this is considered a big street because there are a lot more vehicles using it. It is really wide enough for everyone. This might be a 15 to 20 meters wide street. Usually there are a lot of vehicles using this, and the business that's running on the left and right side of the streets are big ones. It means that the land is quite expensive. That is why only a bunch of people can buy the property, while the rest of them will stay on a more narrow street, and they will have to build their houses there. As you can see, you can find every kind of food, the local food of course, and sometimes you can find people selling burgers and also selling some rice. On my left hand side is a gas station. You see it there? It's a official gas station. It's the official gas station. So if you need gas station and for a car or maybe for your bike, you don't have to buy on the street like what I did was just now, but you can find a bigger one and the real gas station, and it's called Pertamina gas station. Pertamina, you know. There are people crossing the street, and of course there are always people helping them to cross the street, because if you don't have anyone to help you, you have to do it yourself, and you have to be careful. So right now I'm heading to a mall, a small mall, which is Dinoyo City Mall. I'm going to show you in just a moment. This is some kind of a terminal area. This is where all the buses, the small buses, the blue ones that you see on the left side, they're waiting for passengers. So if you're going somewhere and you need to go somewhere and you need a cheap vehicle or taxi, you can just use all these blue cars to get you there. Of course it's not really convenient. That is why people are using Gojek. Gojek is a local what you call it? It's a local motorcycle taxis. It's a lot cheaper to use Gojek, if you have the application, it's absolutely just like Grab or Uber. While Gojek and Grab is functioning and operating in Indonesia, but Gojek is something that Gojek is a kind of taxi company, and they have cars and they also have motorcycles. And if you want a cheaper one, you can use motorcycles. Besides, it's a lot faster if you use motorcycle. But of course, it's not very convenient. So it's up to you and it's your choice. The reason why people are using motorcycles so much is because of practical reason. With a motorcycle or a scooter like this, you can go everywhere. You can always go everywhere anytime you want. While if you're using a car, then you could waste a lot of time with the traffic jam that sometimes happens. You see there is another gas station on the left side. I like this street because there are a lot of streets, even though there are so many posters that I don't like. If you're a foreigner, or maybe you're from UK or maybe from Italy, I don't think that you could handle the very busy traffic. That is why you should have a driver, and don't drive for yourself, even though if you have a motorcycle, or if you rent a motorcycle. Please don't do that yourself when you're doing that your first time. And I really hate those posters on the left hand side. They are showing politicians, but I think they don't have so many impact on the society. What they do is just grabbing some power. And this is the time for them to show their faces, their smiling faces, but we don't really know who they are. Okay, the mall is right in front of me, so I will go inside the mall in a moment. On the left side is a university, and it's next to the mall, just right next to the mall. Okay, I'm going to the left right now. You see here someone is helping in the car. Many tourists are saying that our city, as well as maybe India or maybe Thailand or Philippines, is a vibrant place to be, because you don't have this kind of hush and fuss in the city, because you're so well organized in your country. But for us who are already living in this city for the whole life of ours, we should accept that as a fact, and then embrace it without much questioning. Okay, I'm going to get the ticket right now. This is the parking lot. Some guys are hanging around in there, hanging out in this place. Maybe they are workers. I have to find my parking. And thank you. I will talk to you later, and please consider subscribing. It will be really helping if you're subscribing and you comment, and please like if you like it. Thank you. Bye bye.